Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh. Alright guys, so the Glasgow Comedy Festival is now upon us. I have a show on the 24th of March at the King's Theatre. Stuart is also doing his show at the Stand Comedy Club. One sold out, but you've got an extra date on. Stuart, when's that?
Much smaller room at the Stand. And that second show is on Tuesday the 21st of March, 7 p.m.
Awesome.
Tickets still available.
Tickets still available for both of us. And you can see a lot of the guests who've previously been on the show at the Glasgow Comedy Festival as well. A lot of them have got shows like Marilyn Robertson,
Susan Riddle.
Susie McCabe has sold out 2 nights at the King's. Fucking show off. So don't go see her. Who else we got who's been on? Gary's not getting on.
Amelia, she's coming on, but has she got a show?
We'll ask her in a minute.
Okay. Yeah. Gareth Waugh, Gareth Much, who we had on last week's episode.
Gary Little.
Gary's not got one, we just said that.
Let's do them all. Let's guess. Crystal do one?
Crystal Evans has got one, I believe. Yeah, go and see Crystal.
CMB.
Christopher McCarthy boy. I think his is sold out.
Yep.
Where's he playing?
I do not have one.
Steve does not have one.
Couldn't be arsed, the only one.
Couldn't be arsed. Down in London, sold out.
And well, this is the start of the public episode, so I think many of our listeners might be curious to hear, because you've now done your Leicester show.
Yes.
Steve, how did it go?
It's great. It was great. Thanks to all the many fan that came from this podcast.
Many fan?
Yep, there was 2. There was actually 2, to be fair. Because at the start I said, anyone come from Some Laugh?
Did you? Is that how you owned?
Wow. Didn't open it. I just, after a few minutes, I was curious.
People
It was
just
more
like,
than anything.
Just because we'd plugged it so many times.
Yeah, and then there was 2 people.
And did they travel, or were they from Leicester?
I'm not sure. Actually, I didn't really engage with them on stage. But
Did you not find out who the furthest person that travelled was from?
No.
I just assumed your shows were you killing time in all these various ways and doing all the...
What the fuck? The fuck's that supposed to mean?
Right guys, the world's a fucked up place. Anyone for some laugh?
Nothing like that. No. Didn't say fucked up place this time, so...
But the show was a
You're
success,
wrong.
Stevie.
It was a great success. 80 people on in the end.
That's good.
Count them.
Good going, Mel. I'm glad we plugged that.
That's
every
good.
week.
Exactly.
And got 2 people from the
2
podcast.
people from the podcast.
I can't work out what the ratio is, but it's low, isn't it? 2 out of 80.
Yeah.
1 in 40.
Why am I doing this fucking thing?
I don't think we've got a lot of listeners in Leicester. I don't think.
We've not
Although if you
exactly
get in
booked in a
touch.
gig
Evidently. What?
No.
there. We've not booked in a live pod there. But
I got
Not
introduced the other night on stage, and they said, please, this guy is the former Scottish Comedian of the Year,
Nice.
and he's the host of Some Laugh. And I was like, so you've told them that I'm a fucking has-been, and you've just told them about something they've probably never heard of.
Yeah,
So
great.
cool. Damning with faint praise, I would say.
I hate it when they do credits. I know they mean well, compares when they do credits, but it really throws me off.
It's quite an American
You may know
thing.
this guy is Archie Pepper from Scott
Yeah,
Squad.
really embarrassing. Because it sounds like you've asked for that, which actually is the opposite.
There's a guy, we were doing the same gig at Blackfriars the other night, and there was a guy in the audience who worked on Scott Squad.
Yeah, Lee.
What was it, Lee?
He messaged me after. I didn't know he was in. I would have.
Well, because
hung out with him.
you weren't in yet, but the compere was talking to him, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's a guy from Scott Squad on, so you might like him."
Well, I know him personally. Yeah. Nice guy. He's a colleague.
Yeah, you know this guy personally, so you need to pretend to smile and laugh the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's on, guys. If you want to come along, as say the comedy festival is underway now, and me and Stu both have shows for that. So hopefully we will see you there. We also, as we should mention at the start, are obviously now on Patreon. We do an extra 2 episodes. Or an extra episode every 2 weeks, not an extra 2
episodes per week, which would kill us.
That would kill us. At the current, once we get successful enough, hey, I'm not ruling anything out, but
If enough people join, we'll go weekly, sure.
yeah, we'll certainly go. That's
yeah,
the plan, is to go
full-time job.
weekly, and then maybe twice a week if we're really hammering it home. Maybe we'll
I'll
have
do it
our
every
own
day if you pay me enough.
individual projects. Yeah, absolutely. But for as little as £3 a month, you can sign up and get access to that, as well as the live show from December, and we plan on filming the live show that's coming up on Easter. And that's the place to get first dibs on.
Are we only going to do Christian holidays going forward?
Yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah.
Although maybe Halloween. I like the idea of doing Halloween as well.
Yeah,
But
the
Christian
spectacular.
holiday. That is.
Yeah.
what's that?
That's a Christian holiday, kind of.
A Christian? What
All
is it?
Hallows Eve, All Saints. is-
Celebration of the
Yeah, it's
Antichrist.
satanic holiday.
Nah, All Saints Day is the day after.
It's the day after.
Which
So the night before is when
shit gets spooky.
Can I have Halloween on Christmas?
We can.
And
in the night,
we'll wish this never ends. We'll wish this never ends.
I do wish it ends though.
Yeah.
What's that reference to? I don't know.
Blink-182.
Jesus Christ.
Ah,
Miss
sorry.
you.
Sorry, I wasn't a fucking goth growing up, alright? Some of yous.
I went to the Blink-182 after party at the Cat House.
But not the gig.
No, I went to the gig. I went,
What, recently?
no, don't be fucking ridiculous.
Well, that's one of the perks of being the
They're
fucking
gigging,
W.H.
aren't they?
Smith
'Cause
guy.
everyone was
they're,
trying to...
they're back
Aye.
this year, actually. They're coming
Yeah,
back this
yeah,
year.
right, okay.
Coming to
Yeah,
the
go
Hydro.
back to the catty.
But I seen them
I thought
at
one
the
of them was
Hydro.
dead.
No.
Nah, I don't know where you've got that for.
Who
Who
died?
are you thinking of?
Is it, what's the other one?
You're thinking of the Queen of England.
Fuck that, I always get them mixed up. Did somebody for Blink, or what's the other one? Blink-182, did somebody not die?
I can't. This is
You're
going
thinking
to
of
be a
Nirvana.
Steve moment. We need to keep our powder dry here and see what comes out.
Yeah, well, come
It's
on.
them or Green Day or somebody like that.
Nah,
Somebody
they're
not
they're
died.
still
Green Day's
thriving.
dead,
Yeah.
nah, the Green Day aren't dead.
Sound off in the comments if you know who I'm talking about that died.
Some emo died.
An emo guy died, is that?
David Bowie, something not. I don't know. But anyway, you went to the after party?
Yeah, we went to the gig. We missed the first 6 songs.
How?
Went to the bar?
We were
This is a sordid tale, I can tell from your face.
we were just high. It doesn't matter really.
Come on.
You seem like so embarrassed.
It sounds like the most wee guy ever. Nah, I don't want to talk about it.
Come on, we need to see this. Why were you late for the Blink-182 concert?
I was sharing a joint with my pal around the back of it. You know, the High Park. It's like there was round the back of the changing rooms at the
Right,
train station,
nice.
and then
Did you staple it together yourself, this joint?
that it was just grass from the. I say joint, it was just a lot of grass on the ground.
I would say that's very on brand for a Blink-182 concert that people would miss it because they're smoking
I've
joints.
never known you to be a stoner, Steve.
I'm not.
No.
I didn't even do it
You falling
properly.
in with a bad crowd?
Yeah, one guy, one mosher. No, we missed all the songs because we were like all the good ones as well. They played all the
They
best ones
front-loaded
first.
it. Who does that?
Because afterwards on the train we were like, oh,
Two good ones, a bunch of shite ones, and then the best ones. That's how you do a gig.
So
Everyone
we
knows that.
got the best one, but we were like, oh, I can't believe they never played "I Miss You" and "First Date," and they were like, they
came out
did.
swinging.
Yeah, they started with us.
If I'd missed 6 songs, I wouldn't be talking a big game after going, oh, I can't believe they never played this song. I would just imagine that was in the first 6 that I missed.
Yeah, but we didn't realise we missed that many songs. We thought we just missed the support and we just got in time.
Right.
Turns out we'd missed half the show.
I had the opposite experience the other night because I was coming back late for a gig and that Chris Rock Netflix thing was on. It was on live and I missed the start of it, so I thought, I thought he did the Will Smith stuff at the start, and then so I've watched like the last half of it, and then he does it all at the end, and I was like, fuck, you know.
How is it, by the way? Because I've read mixed things.
I thought I seen it live in London, and I thought it was pretty poor, and I thought it looked pretty shite on the night, but
Yeah, I'm
it was
not that
better
interested.
than it was when I seen it. It had one good bit, I thought, but he one or two good bits, but
You're a big
was
fan as well. You've
reading
got a
about
wee-
I'm a big fan. I'm
Got
a
a
big
wee
fan of like
book down here?
'90s Chris Rock, but yeah, Rock this. It's like
Rock
a
this?
that's a bit of a kind of like, you
Everybody
know,
hates Chris.
Cash in.
as bit of a cash in
Looks
book
like
that.
just
aye.
that title, Rock This. He's
Yeah.
not thought about that.
I don't know even. I've not even really read it. I don't know what's in it, but aye, that was. But I had the. Obviously, I thought I'd missed it, and then I actually seen it as well.
Because I was reading a review of that, and apparently, I don't know if this is on the Netflix version or just the live one, but like he's got like a bunch of daft shit at the start and the end where like people sit about talking about it and stuff.
Yeah, no, that was like they done a pre and after
Seems
show.
self-indulgent as hell.
Yeah,
to me.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the basketball player, was on it
Right,
for some
wow.
reason.
Maybe I should do that for my special. Get some colleagues and some low-level Scottish sports people. to
David
sit around.
Marshall and all that. So, what did you think of Stuart's stand up?
Stephen
Got to do
Presley.
better for me there.
Is
Stephen
that-
Presley. Yeah.
I'm
Friend of the
I've
show.
got that. If you want to come to my King show, I'm going to have like Rab Douglas and all that. He's going to be before
He
the
thinks he's doing a sportsman's dinner, but he's actually analysing your show.
I was booked for an after dinner speech, not a before fucking show one, you know. But anyway, so that's about it. So we've got Finn Taylor on today on this week's episode. We hope you enjoy that. A great chat with Finn. And yeah, as ever, do sign up to the Patreon and all that sort of stuff, and we'll hopefully see you at the live shows in Glasgow. But aside from that, guys, enjoy today's episode.
Enjoy.
Thanks for joining us, Finn.
Thanks, lovely to be here. It's undisclosed location.
In this beautiful podcast studio.
Yeah.
Huge city centre of Glasgow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're in Glasgow. You're playing Glasgow Stand tonight.
Yeah, man.
How do you find gigging in Glasgow, like compared to elsewhere in the UK and stuff?
Love it. Really like it. Vibey. It's got that, we were saying on the way, it's got that kind of Liverpool
Aye.
bullshit.
Everybody thinks
yeah,
that's
this is
funny.
but it is. But I think of all the kind of, Celtic British towns that have that thing, Glasgow, I think they're the most justified. It's just it's just vibey, there's just any night of the week, something's happening. The crowd are great. I love coming to Glasgow.
And how long have you been coming here? Because
I grew up. Well, I lived here till I was 7 because my mum's from Edinburgh. We lived in Glasgow till I was 7, and then went straight to Oxford, and immediately the accent became this.
Really?
yeah.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
So whereabouts did you live? Do you remember?
Kenmure Street in Pollock Shields.
Oh right.
Aye.
South.
I don't know if that's nice or not.
Is that nowhere that
Everyone's buying houses there now, man.
Has it become nice?
getting
There was a lot of
gentrified.
kind of racially motivated murders when I lived there.
Yeah.
That my dad recently told me about that he kept us. Not as in he didn't do them.
Was that not
It makes it sound like my dad killed a lot of Pakistanis.
Is that not the street though? Because recently there was a big thing, and it was like people were trying to get deported for that
That's
street,
right.
and then
It's a big tenements.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he sent me an article about.
and
that
then it was
street.
like all the people in the street protested, and the police had to.
That was it. There was
Let them go.
the street flooded with because they had those vans
Aye.
and they let them out of the vans. That was just outside.
So you lived there? Bloody hell!
Wow.
Yeah. Illegally for years. So I lived there till I was about 7. I went to a school called Hutchie. My parents taught there.
Hutchie Grammar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my parents taught there, and then that's when I went for the first 2-3 years of school.
And that's where they taught you how to get rid of your accent. And
Yeah.
stuff. For rule number
Deeply
one.
shameful. When I was in school.
So-
Opposite McDonald's. Sorry, I'm now just saying things I
very
remember.
I don't know where
Do you
I
just
actually
really
remember much? Do you remember
satisfyingly
much
Glaswegian. You hear this stuff about the obesity crisis, and you feel
Yeah.
quite disconnected from it, and then you're like, well, my school was opposite to McDonald's. So when Dad was picking me up, and he was like, "Oh, fucking obviously, we'll just go there, and
Chicken
shut you up,
nuggets.
shove a burger down you." Yeah.
Do you remember much of like your childhood in Glasgow and stuff? Then
I remember like the park, and it's mainly food stuff. I remember the cafe, McDonald's. We used to get caramel apple grannies. Like
toffee apples.
toffee apple like pie thing in this cafe called Moira Jones that was
Okay.
in near the house. But nothing major.
Aye. And does that annoy you though whenever you meet Scottish people and then they just assume like they don't
thing is,
know because of the accent?
I don't care because I don't want to be that guy.
Aye.
That guy that wears a Barber jacket who says he's Scottish when he's called Cameron and he's just a posh English guy. Like I'm aware that's a thing. I don't want to be that guy. But also my family from Edinburgh, and they're kind of my uncle's like Casey now, big lawyer. So they are kind of, I guess they're kind of like posh Edinburgh, I guess. I mean, my nan, I don't know what my nan, she's too old. I don't really know what she is. Hard to
Give a
tell.
fuck.
Yeah. She's on the way out, really. But
No?
yeah, so because you come here and it's like, you guys are Scottish. So I would never claim,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? If you were more Edinburgh, I might claim to be.
Yeah,
You know.
I think it's quite sweet though, because my cousin has lived his whole life in Wales and Cardiff, and he's constantly putting on wee Celtic tops and
Aye,
stuff, and
he's-
saying that he's Scottish. And I'm like,
Cosplaying as Scottish.
yeah, and it's sweet. I like it. So if you want to say you're Scottish, you can.
I think it's got a lot more dignity in what Finn's describing here.
Right, yeah. It's just like, you're never going to be it, all right? You had the ship sailed.
Conscientious objector.
There you go, yeah.
But you've been up on tour and you've obviously you're doing this YouTube show at the moment, Finn versus Internet, which has been very funny. You recently had that Jackmate photo going
Yeah.
I was watching
Yeah,
that the
yeah,
other day. That's
yeah.
it's so funny. Like
Yeah, it's kind of all part of this, when I realised that it's TV's dead, we're all just on the internet now. I was like, what do I want to make? And I don't know if you have this thing, I have these people that have massive followings. I'm like, who the fuck, what do
I
they
was
do?
literally going to ask who Jackmate is. I've seen the name,
well,
but I don't
that's
know
it.
who
I
that is.
only learned from watching your thing that you said
Yeah.
you had a big YouTube.
Yeah. Well, this is the funny thing is because whenever we put clips out and they go big, everyone's always like, you're ripping off Between Two Ferns. It's like, people know who the guest is on Between Two Ferns. No one has any idea who the fuck these people are.
Who the fuck's this Obama?
Yeah,
cunt?
exactly. But Jack Mate's this big. He was a big YouTuber, and now it's a huge podcast.
Happy Hour, it's like a Spotify one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Massive. He's just done a big tour, like selling big rooms, like 1,500 seaters.
That's right.
So it's huge, but like you don't really know anyone who
What's the
listens
show?
to it.
What does he do? What is it? I mean, we shouldn't plug other podcasts, I suppose, but
It's a lot of shit, man.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
it.
don't know.
But basically you do a kind of, almost like, I suppose it's like kind of, well, obviously say like the Zach Galifianakis thing, or almost like an Ali G-esque.
Yeah, well, in my head, when I had the idea, it was going to be much more that, because I'd done a pilot with Sacha Baron Cohen's company, and so I saw basically how they made Borat and Bruno, which is basically they have these nerds that just invent all this stuff online, get them in the room, and then just fuck them in the edit. That's all it is. Get them to sign a bunch of stuff. They sound really reasonable for ages. You know, Sacha Baron Cohen's there in prosthetics or whatever, and it's just normal. But then you only see the tip of the iceberg, which is the 2 or 3 weird things he said in the room. That's the edit. So I was like, we'll just do that, but with influencers. But what hadn't quite realised, and Horatio, my director, made it clear that I hadn't quite realised how sad they'd be. These influencers, they're all really sad, and even though they project this kind of big kind of alpha energy, it's not what they want to be doing.
No.
And Sacha Baron Cohen's taking down like Dick Cheney. I'm just taking down some poor woman who's got 80,000 Instagram followers. So we had to sort of change it in the first series. We only put 6 episodes out. We made 10, and we can't release the other. Well, one of them we can't release for legal reasons. That's another story. And then the other 3 were just like, it just doesn't. It's just too. The power dynamic's wrong.
You're bullying
just me?
poor people.
No, it wasn't just men. It was,
no, not just mean. I mean,
sorry, yeah. Well, it just felt like, but also I don't know, it just didn't click for whatever reason. Whereas this series, because the episodes are out, they know what they're coming to do.
Okay.
And yet they're still never ready for it. That's
Yeah.
what we noticed. They're like, yeah, no, I've seen the show, it'd be fine. And then immediately they're like, fucking, all right, because it is like it's pretty full on.
Do you like them to play along as if, because like Between Two Ferns, it's like they're kind of slagging Zach Galifianakis as well, and they're in on it? Like, do you want them to be kind of as if they're in on it, or
I think we're in a really nice. I think, to be honest, if you just see a clip, you'd probably it's quite easy for you to think it's a Between Two Ferns ripoff. If you watch the whole episode, it's very clear that it's a different thing, because like they're not playing it straight. They're laughing. We count a blooper as any time I go, which I do go quite a lot. But they're kind of in on it, but then they're like, oh yeah, he's going to roast me, but then they're never prepared for how hardcore it is. And so their reactions, we like their reactions being like, oh, fuck, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not like a scripted thing where they're acting.
Yeah.
Because when you said they're sad, I thought you meant like just when when you're saying all this fucked up shit to them, but you just mean in general.
The general sadness of them.
They've all get depression. And
Sadness behind the eyes.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah, because it's a weird thing for them, because I guess if they get a big following and stuff, but if they're not really that well versed in comedy and certainly know what the shit you're saying to them, like they just wouldn't know how to take, because I guess everyone's a bit happy clappy and everybody getting on and collaborating and stuff on these influencer things, and if you kind of come in and kind of sandbag them a wee bit, then they just don't know how to react.
Yeah, it is that. Totally what it is. But yeah, I'm always amazed when people agree to do it.
Yeah.
But we just want to keep growing it and getting more and more. We want people to be like, how the fuck has they got them? Like that's kind of what we want to do.
That's brilliant.
It.
And how do you find like working with? Because I know you mentioned you've got a director, Horatio, and you work with Vittorio, who's been on the podcast before.
Yeah.
How do you find? Because you're a stand-up, and that's quite a lonely, solemn thing. So how do you find working with other people?
Love it. They're great. I think the reason it works is that there's no one who's not a comic involved. And we all produce it, all write it, like in the room. We'll have loads of jokes prepared, and then they'll basically improv tags. And it must be quite fucked up for the guests, because at some points there's basically 3 people improvising it as the same character
in ways that are personally abusing them.
Yeah. No, it's great, and because I've done I've sort of done TV and kind of realised that it's not. I mean, there's definitely something it's definitely good to do, I guess, but it's not what we all thought it was when we were starting out.
Yeah.
Well, you say that because you've done live at Apollo,
Yeah.
and what have you done?
Have
Have
I
I
got
Got
news
News,
for
of
you?
course,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like,
I wanted to ask about the backlash you had on that as well.
We can get to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
but like so you've done a lot of that, and so you've kind of
I've basically been through the Looking Glass.
yeah.
And
Done everything
so-
you can do in terms of the big
Almost.
thing. Well,
I haven't done Taskmaster, which I still think has a
That's
capacity
the-
to like
It's
break
basically
you.
the one thing at the minute that
It's
is.
the only thing,
Yeah.
and that used to be Apollo. But you know, when I used to watch it, it used to get 10 million with like Jack D, and then when I did it, I think it got 500,000. Like that's how
Wow.
much.
views, not pounds, by the way. I think.
Yeah, definitely. I would not be here. If I'd got £500,000. Yeah. So I'm kind of. They're like, oh, if we go bigger, then maybe Channel 4 want to do it, and I'm like, the whole reason this works is that there's no bureaucrats basically involved in the middle of like getting fit from the joke to the audience.
Yeah.
I also just think the nature of like fandom has changed in that people are so much more intense about things they found themselves and the things that are just on. I mean, like, when was the last time you watched anything like light-end comedy on TV? You're probably just on your phone because your girlfriend's watching it. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I really want to keep it as it is. I mean, obviously, there's always a price, isn't there?
Yeah, but it makes sense because, like, I think like pre-COVID, like the writing was on the wall, and everybody, it was already the case that people were obviously starting to get big and do tours off of online stuff as opposed to telly.
Yeah.
But I think COVID, that sort of time off, almost everybody realised because the only thing you could do was online.
It just
stuff.
went like that. I think
Yeah.
it was going that way slowly, and it just went into overdrive. And then, I think now it's like I don't know. I used to look at like the big, like Mo Gilligan,
Yeah,
who started out at a similar time, suddenly going like that, and you're like, oh, that's great, but it's kind of like a mad one-off.
yeah.
And then the more people, now I don't really know anyone who's been able to sort of grow. Maybe Maisie Adam off the back of TV, but I think you can still do it. It's just way harder.
Rate is more.
You
rate,
have to be
aren't
on absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I also realised I was never going to be the guy that's on everything. I was never going to be asked to be on Sunday brunch.
That would be a good episode.
I'd like
though.
that.
Well, yeah, I know exactly how I'd play it. I'd just do the NFL thing.
Yeah.
But
Wanted
like,
to mention that.
once you've
actually.
done that once, it's quite hard to get booked again for this
Aye.
week. So.
So like, let's talk about that because you were on the NFL. So what was it? They were doing a game in London or something?
So they have this breakfast show called Good Morning Football, which I guess is like Soccer Saturday, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's like it's apparently biggest sort of NFL show. And they were doing a game in London, and I know the production company. I did Montreal, and so I'd done a writing job through them, and I was gonna had a job lined up in America when COVID hit. That went away, whatever. They just randomly got in touch saying, "Oh, we just found out we're going to be making this show in London, like next week. Do you want to be on it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." They're like, "Do you like American football?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I was thinking, "Well, it'd be money. NFL's huge. It'll be decent money." And then,
See that you didn't think of telling them that you weren't in it; they just wouldn't have used you.
no, and we actually I just thought it'd be a good payday,
Aye.
and I thought I could just sort of lead into the fact that I'm British, and But then my agent said on the call and said, "Oh yeah, they only pay their guests an exposure," and I was like, "What? That's fucking insane."
Yeah.
So then I said, "Well, okay, I'll do it, but I'm gonna make sure I get fucking paid." But I honestly didn't really. I sort of wrote it in the car on the way there, and then I just think I didn't think they would be so like skittish,
Yeah.
so American. I think the reason that it went so big is that it was such a British American
Contrast.
disparity.
That guy was just fucking hating you, that guy.
Yeah, just staring at the
So
camera
funny.
like that. And the woman that didn't say goodbye to me afterwards. Like even that guy shook my hand at the end. The ex-pro, the black guy, he was just confused the whole time. Then there was one guy who was loving it, and then the two that just absolutely hated it. And yeah, they tried to kick me off because I did 2 parts, and they were like, "You're wrapped," and the producer was like, "No, he's done for 2 parts," and they're like, "No, you're done."
I'm amazed
I
they
didn't
let
have
you
a-
back on for that.
I didn't have any.
part.
Well, they were trying to find literally anyone. It was on the South Bank in London. They were trying to find anyone that they could get on. They're
See
like,
if
"Is
Rob
the next,
Beckett's just walking by.
genuinely, they're like, is the next guest ready?" They only had one guest mic, which is why the whole video is on my YouTube, but the second part opens in a really long shot of Tower Bridge because they're just like, we can't zoom out yet because we haven't got anyone. And throw me in, and then it panned out, and they're like, oh, it's him again. Like,
and because they were asking you to tell, because that was the flat line, and it was they're asking you these terms that are like, the butt punt and stuff like that, and then it was like some fumble gaff or something like that. What was the
fumble rooski?
And
is that if you kill your wife and a waiter and get away with it? Yeah, because the only thing I know, I watched the OJ documentary. That's all I know about it. It is an amazing documentary.
Yeah.
But
so if they did actually pay you, would you have tried to do a pretend?
I probably would have tried to.
But
it just would have been shit, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I sort of think almost the only reason to do TV is to play it for the internet, because that's the only way it like lasts, or has any real impact on. I mean, have you guys done like bits of TV up here or
up here? You've done
up
some
here,
bits and
but
bobs
it's stuff. Yeah, BBC Scotland. No one really
literally
watches.
no. People are seeing it more on my TikTok than even know it exists.
Exactly, and it's almost like if you don't put it on. If you don't clip it up, then it didn't happen. Yeah, basically.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's probably like you were saying, you were on live at the Apollo. You're probably getting far more hits if you put it online rather than.
Yeah, well, I put the clips on my TikTok and Instagram, but I tried to put the whole set on my YouTube, and then it got blocked.
Oh, does it?
Because they still don't understand. They still think it's going to like cannibalize viewers, but it's different.
Yeah.
People don't watch both.
Yeah, exactly. There's a guy I don't know on YouTube, Arse Raptor. You ever come across this guy?
Puts everything up.
Everything up. How does he get?
I assume it's a guy.
Well, yeah,
big guy.
It's definitely.
If it's a woman, it's I want to meet her. She's called Arse Raptor. I want
to meet her. And then you had I wanted to sort of talk about the backlash then you got from Have I Got News For You?
Yeah.
So that was
Backlash Boy.
Backlash Boy, this guy, king of the backlash.
Yeah.
So it was a Corbyn joke?
Corbyn,
yeah.
And it was all Corbynites that came for you, was it?
Yeah, they're a bunch of reasonable guys. No, it was actually.
I was actually one sorry fan. I should apologise for that.
Oh yeah, you were the one that sent my agent rape threats. Yeah, cool.
No,
yeah. No, it was kind of mad. I mean, there was no. It was COVID, so there was no. We were in the studio, but there was no audience. So we were like the only laughs you were getting from the crew, and they had a Zoom audience, but you couldn't hear them because of the lag was so bad, so they didn't play it in. So you didn't really know what was going well in the room or not. And then, what was the joke even? Oh, it was a joke about scale. That was it was a joke about how it's not, Labour was being like held hostage by Corbynites, and it's not actually that many people in the country. It's probably about 100,000 people. So all you'd have to do is bomb Glastonbury and it wouldn't be a problem anymore. Joke about scale, right? And then a journalist from The Guardian clipped just that up and said, this guy went to private school, he thinks this.
Yeah.
And then that started a pile on from all her kind of, I think I sort of had the last laugh though, because I got rebooked on the show and she's since died. So I sort of think in the long, I might have lost the battle, but I won the war. Really. But
was it natural causes? You don't.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with it. No, but I mean, it was mental. It was mad being in the eye of that storm for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like I say, like the BBC, I got put into the BBC's like security system thing, and they're like,
really?
So they basically go through your footprint and make sure there's no like personal details.
Right.
Similar to how you can't reveal where we are now. It's a similar kind of and then like. Yeah, I had to call my parents and stuff, and that was messed up. When like I don't mind cleaning up my own mess, but when it starts affecting you're like, fuck, I sort of wish I hadn't gone out.
Yeah,
but
and what? So you were getting death threats and stuff?
Well, I didn't really. I was just kind of
reading.
I was skimming. I wasn't kill yourself. I was kind of skimming. The worst thing was my agent getting like sexual threats and stuff to a work email, and that was pretty unreasonable.
Yeah, because like just the term death threats to me seems. I mean, death threats are probably just someone on Twitter saying "go die," but death threats seems like I've got this image where it's like people sending like letters and blood.
It wasn't blood through the letterbox. No.
Just a lot of people angry because I suppose that's the sort of double-edged sword of putting stuff up online, and like it's hard now. Like, see if you do a stand-up special or whatever, and then you're clipping your stuff. you're potentially doing that to yourself. What that journalist has done to you, you're going, am I just putting some out there that's going to get people?
Yeah, but I think nowadays, I think we've kind of reached the peak of it, because like nowadays it's all fracturing. There's no real mainstream anymore, certainly with comedy.
Yeah.
So now it's like you just watch the stuff you watch, and if you watch something you don't like, maybe you leave a shitty comment, but you can't really like, you can't start a pile-on because everyone has to find it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's only when it's like it's been given to you that you feel the sense of injustice.
Absolutely.
It's to reach a tipping point, doesn't it? Yeah.
Feels like it.
Yeah. Be a good get for your internet show though, Corbin.
Oh yeah.
Face to face.
Live at Glastonbury.
I guess the problem is that I the character is I'm old media and they're new media, and I guess he
looks as old as time.
He's pretty old.
He's old as fuck.
He's fucking what's the socialist?
You could believe that you might start a podcast or something.
Yeah, you probably should.
We'll get him on here.
Miliband's at it then.
So like me and Steve certainly I'm not sure, but we've certainly seen a few your live shows and stuff like that. I think one of the best Fringe shows I've ever seen was the when Harassi met Sally.
Oh,
one.
thanks, man.
Yeah, it was great.
It was really
It was in
good.
like a shipping container at the Pleasant.
Yeah, with the stools.
That's the stills
Yeah,
one.
I
Yeah.
have seen that show.
Yeah.
I think we all went to see it.
Because I'd
Thanks,
heard
guys.
I don't know if it's still online now, but I remember listening to like one of your albums that you'd put from, I guess it was an early Fringe show, and it was more maybe just kind of like mainstream stuff, or more just it wasn't as certainly controversial. And then was it Whitey McWhiteface or something? Was the show you?
Yeah,
done?
I reached a point where I just really didn't give a fuck. I
Yeah.
just thought I'm just going to try this, and if it doesn't work, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And then obviously that one worked.
And you just started addressing cultural hot topics.
Yeah, but also I
and
started when I was
things like that.
18, and then I think I was like 26. I just was more like in the world.
Aye.
I think nowadays the generation below, I guess you're all the same similar age to me,
What age are you?
early 30s.
Aye.
Something like. The generation below are like they're much more politically like active early on, because it's just all sex and politics, isn't it, for them? But I was just kind of not really thinking about any of that stuff until then. So yeah, I think that was part of the reason. So I started talking about it, but with my quite blunt sense of humor, and then obviously that made it all quite spicy. Yeah, that was the first one where it kind of went well, and then I was like, well, that works. I'll just keep doing that and just pick a different sort of.
But it must have felt like a big jump, though, like to start, because I'm more and more trying to delve into just, even just talking about your own opinions and stuff, and talking about the world and all that. And sometimes you're just kind of going, you can easily fucking split a room or whatever if you're talking about something that's contentious.
I quite like splitting. I quite like that elastic coming back. Yeah.
Like
in a
you
room.
like trying to.
Well, I just think it's more when there's that. It means I haven't had it so much on this tour because I've been putting myself out there more, so people know what they're coming to. But like before that, I used to love it when there was just someone like this, and they're sat next to someone who's losing it, because they then find it funnier because they're like, oh my god, look at this, and they're getting more annoyed the more they laugh, and it's like this kind of this loop of just. And then, at some point, always like, come on, like, and then they finally break a smile. I don't know. I think it makes it more alive in the gig.
Yeah,
absolutely. It'd be you're challenging a lot of maybe kind of liberal assumptions and stuff in some of the shows. And did you ever have any backlash to that, or did people perceive you differently? Because like, did people ever go, "Oh, he's right wing" or something like that?
Yeah. But I remember there was an article in like Fess or something about like the new wave of right wing comedians. They put me in it in an interview, and I was like, "No, I'm not right wing. I just like fucking people off."
Yeah.
But they could not find enough people for that.
I thought you were Britain's only right wing comedian.
Yeah.
That's why we got you on.
Yeah. No, but I made a deliberate try. I never want to brand myself as well. I'm not particularly right wing, really, but also I just don't want to brand myself as a political thing, because then you get people come in who are like, "Yeah, I want to hear him say what I think."
Yeah,
I know. I don't want that. It's boring.
Yeah. Because then I don't know. One of the shows was it Righty Tighty.
Yeah, that's the one.
So that was the one.
Yeah.
So and that I think you say you're centrist in that specifically. Do you know?
I guess the whole point was trying to see if I could be like unreasonably reasonable. That was the idea.
Sides.
Yeah. In my head, I probably am. I think most people are a kind of jumble of.
Yeah.
I think it's only the internet makes everyone seem so tribal.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like up here. USNP guys, or it's all a bit different because of the independence thing.
Yeah, but it's more
Sturgeon leaving it, so it's starting to fucking got shit a wee bit, I suppose.
So what was it? The trans? Does that take her down?
Didn't help, I don't think.
I think it was
the
just
gender thing,
added to the amount of people giving her abuse and stuff.
Yeah.
like, maybe.
You're more political than us, though.
Yeah, but the thing is with Scottish I don't really care about Scottish politics that much because it's like you just sort of don't. You know, I watch PMQs and shit, but you know, you're never tuning into fucking. You just feel like you're the only one watching whenever you watch First Minister's questions and Holyrood and shit. You're like, what the fuck is this? And like, I don't even know who half the people are and stuff like that. And it's kind of the problem now. Is like, you know, there's like 3 Scottish like politicians in Holyrood that everybody knows, and then Sturgeon's resigning, and the other 2 aren't even the SNP. So everyone's just like, okay, who's going to lead us now?
It's going to be interesting.
There's women who thinks that gay people shouldn't get married. Cool, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a bit weird.
It's coming back. That viewpoint is coming back.
Yeah. Unreasonably reasonable, but
it's sacred. You know, it's sacred. Clip that out. Clip that out. Go on. See what happens.
Are you married yourself? No.
Yeah.
And you've got a new baby
to a woman.
To a woman. So that
was implicit in your question.
Yeah,
I have a small child. Yeah.
How do you find that going on tour and?
Great, love it. No, it's the tour spread out because I look after the kid 2 days a week. My home life is a sort of constant disaster in a nice way. It's all very loving, but I'm just so fucking stressed all the time because just nothing's easy.
Yeah.
And then touring, you just have to catch a train.
You never bring the baby on tour?
No. You don't have kids, do you?
No.
Why would you fucking
leave it
ask
in the car while you do
that? Stupidest fucking question I've ever heard. Bring a baby on tour.
Because your last show was called So My Wife.
Yeah.
And it was I love the concept of like, you're just going to do one of these kind of old
school. I was just trying to, I don't know, I think, same with Horatio directors, we've reached this point of like post-irony where it's like we're aware that how people could take it, but we just don't care and we're doing it anyway because it's funny. Like it's I think it's moved past that kind of, that stage of like, oh, it's all about the irony. It's like, no, it's not. It's just we think it's funny. And we know some people won't, but it's fine. There's enough stuff out there for everyone. Yeah. I was trying to see if I could like keep my kind of vaguely cool crowd whilst doing almost sort of mother-in-law kind of. Yeah. And also, I went down a YouTube hole of like Rodney Dangerfield. You know, I was like, these fucking amazing jokes. They're such good jokes.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the idea for that one.
Never watched Rodney Dangerfield. Did you recommend?
Funny.
It's funny, man.
So funny.
Yeah.
That's not
respect.
I get no respect to that. I've seen clips of that.
Yeah, that's great.
Because you're a big Norm fan as well, Norm MacDonald. Like he talks about Rodney Dangerfield's like one of the best comedians ever as well. Like, but Norm's, I just always watch Norm clips and stuff like that. Like, they're just so good.
Yeah, the best. And another inspiration for the internet show. We were just thinking like, what do we watch on YouTube? And it's like clips of Norm. It's like Between Two Ferns bloopers.
Aye.
It's like those are the stuff that we think is best. So let's try and take elements of that and make a new thing. Yeah, because I don't know. I like being a guest on podcasts, but I find hosting it quite tiring.
Yeah, I was going to say because you seem like you should have a podcast. You don't.
Yeah, but also I'm a bit. The way I work is I like making something the best I can and then putting it out. And I don't like the sort of the demand from an audience, meaning that you record for an hour and then no matter how it goes, that goes out. I don't know. I'm much more like I want to make the thing perfect.
Sure.
And it's way better to do it.
We're not worried about that.
No, it's way better. It's way better to do it this way because that's how the world works. But this is my thing. Is a compromise between the algorithm and my own kind of like perfectionism.
Well, and you're still writing and you're still doing something artistic or whatever as well. And it's like, you know, you like getting the jokes in and stuff in those interviews and like, so it's a good happy medium. But
how did you find it then for like stand up, like particularly Edinburgh? You have to do a new show every year. Do you find it like that? I'll have to do this show, or in that sort of perfectionist point of view?
What with the live stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, doing Edinburgh every year just ruins your summers.
Yeah,
it ruined my summers. And now I'm like past the point where I'm sort of more thinking about a tour, and I just like I do clubs and build it up naturally. But I used to be like, trying to just June and July was just always so bad. You can never enjoy the fucking World Cup. It's just grim. I just hated it, and it was worth it in the end because it sort of gave me a career. But I'm just not prepared to sacrifice having fun anymore.
Yeah.
You've served your time.
I've done my time. Yeah.
So it served its own purpose in it. I don't think the Fringe.
How many hours have you guys done? Similar amount or
2 I've done.
Oh right, okay.
So,
2.
yeah. How many have you done? 5?
I don't know, 7. I think this is the 7th.
7, is it?
Maybe. Yeah.
Because you've done that and you've kind of came through and you say that's built you up. See now, like for people that haven't done as many Edinburghs, maybe not done any, like, do you think with the landscape the way it is now that it's still worth doing, or?
Yeah, but it's definitely not worth putting it. It's not the kind of, it shouldn't be the crux of your year anymore. Or it shouldn't be like what you pin your hopes on. Because like people ask me for like, oh, what PR should I go? I'm like, spend that money on like podcast equipment.
Yeah.
Just start finding the audience, because there's no point. There's no point sinking money into 1 month when you haven't got, when you could build an audience, and then it's more, invest the money in the audience, and then they'll come and see you, and it suddenly becomes more sustainable.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's the thing though, like, because I still like that idea of like having that thing to work towards, and then having to do a new one for the following year and stuff. Which I guess you're just doing your tour now.
Yeah, and I also think 18 months is better for me. I think a year is just too, especially when if the last one goes well and you're doing stuff like I wrote Harass You Met Sally in basically an Auckland hotel room by myself for a week. It's basically a prison camp to get that show, because I would be doing the last one until sort of the end of May. And I was like, I had it all booked. I was just like, I was on the other side of the world and couldn't really enjoy it because I was trying to fucking write another hour.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, I'm never really doing that again.
Have you done that like a few times then, of like a sort of writer's retreat? And
I wouldn't say it's a writer's retreat. It was literally, well, I was doing New Zealand Comedy Festival, and you're in the North Island you're meant to be in the North Island for 3 weeks and the South Island for 1 week, and whatever the scheduling was, we were all in the North Island for 3 weeks, and then everyone fucked off apart from me. They all went to like Wellington, and I was just left to do a week of solo shows in Auckland by myself. And Auckland's just like, New Zealand's amazing, but Auckland's just like fucking, I don't know, Guruk or something. It's like, it's just shit. It's just crap. And it's not why you go to New Zealand.
Finn's always say about it because he's Scottish, remember?
I actually got my first pair of shoes in Guruk. So my mum keeps telling me. The rest of New Zealand is obviously amazing, but you don't go to New Zealand to hang out in fucking a hotel room in Auckland.
Yeah.
So I kind of lost my mind. It was like just post-it notes everywhere. It's just, that it worked, but I just don't. There's no like nobility in losing your mind for something artistic, I don't think.
No, but it kind of appeals to me in the sense that it's just a week and then that's it. You've done it instead of.
Yeah, but no, that's it in the show. But it's like psychologically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
not worth it.
I would take it. I'm lazy that way.
You just don't want to have to do it in the rest of the year.
Yeah, exactly. I would, if I could work 1 week and go crazy and then have the
I'm
rest
like that
of the
with my
year
tax return. I'm like, people are like, oh, you should just, always fight after everything. I'm like, no, I want one bad day.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to the pub and then it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, you're like that. You were stressing out a few months ago, weren't you?
Last day, yeah. Had a Chinese did it in bed. Like all the best accountants,
You talk about Auckland, like, so you've because have you done Australia and stuff as well?
Yeah.
And I know you've done a lot in the US, like, and you were doing the roast battles and stuff over there as well. Is that right?
I wrote on in Montreal they have like in Montreal they have like a Jeff Ross, who's like the roast master general, is his proper name. He hosts a kind of world series of roasting in Montreal at the festival. I did that, and because like you're roasting American comedians who are more well known, but because I'm so unassuming, they just sort of think it's Hugh Grant, and then I just completely wipe the floor with them. And I think it was like the shock element of like, oh my god, he's awful. Yeah. And then I wrote on a roast Alec Baldwin before he shot the woman, which is kind of the great sliding doors moment of my joke writing. And he did that. I was like, fuck, man, I could have,
Yeah.
So was that meant to go out? So
no, this is before COVID. This is like 2019. Wrote on that, and then it happened, and then I mean, I guess it's a good thing he did the roast before he killed the lady.
Yeah.
Allegedly, no, he did kill her. It's about whether he intended to kill her or not.
Yeah, that's that happened. Yeah, it's not
you and your BBC topical thing now.
We can say that.
We can say
he
that.
shot that fucking woman.
He doesn't live in Scotland.
Fuck that
night and day.
I was never, because Alex Baldwin.
Alex Baldwin.
I call him Alex. I call him Alex. Right. Alec Baldwin's always this figure that he's not that relevant here, but you always just see him in like Friends or whatever, and he's got this. Is he like a mad?
Has he ever been in Friends?
No.
Yeah. He's
Has he?
He's
It was
Phoebe's boyfriend.
Phoebe's boyfriend,
Is he really?
and he's really positive, and he's pressing the plates. It's great.
Christ,
episode.
you think about the guest stars in Friends now. Alec Baldwin shot a woman. Bruce Willis has got dementia.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
bleak now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at fucking Joey's all that.
He's huge. He's like Irish dad energy.
Yeah.
Tom
Chandler's-
Selleck's done right, I think. Isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's timeless though.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck.
He's great. Big moustache.
Paul Rudd's done well, yeah. To be fair.
Sure.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Is that what he's been in? Is it?
Was that a collab? Was that in Friends? What's Ant-Man?
No, Ant-Man.
Oh, it's a film.
It's a film.
I don't
He's
really-
the Ant-Man.
Okay, I'm not into comic books.
So
Don't- yeah.
I just thought that's a thing that he's done.
It's not just the BBC that Steve's wanting for, he's also the PR for
I'm,
Marvel.
I'm working on Ant-Man currently. But yeah, so like, yeah, I was just going to say like Alec Baldwin. What? Because it's just this mad
30
guy
Rock,
that's
right?
there.
30
30
Rock,
Rock.
aye.
Is he like a left
Glenn
guy,
Garrigan Ross.
right guy?
Aye, he's a big. Well, he
As
done
in-
the.
Yeah,
Is that why he gets
he's
so
like a
much stick?
Democrat, and then he impersonated Trump, didn't he, on SNL?
Yeah,
Is that why he gets so much hate?
probably.
But also, he's like, he kind of, I don't know. His wife is sort of like the Rachel Dolezal, but of Latina. Like, I'm not
Aye,
sure.
she like pretends to be Spanish.
There's
but she
something
isn't or
going on
something.
there. And they've
Yeah.
got like 8 kids.
Yeah.
I guess he's trying to make up for the life he took, maybe by just shitting out more kids. But yeah, they've got loads of kids, and his wife is like, there's something going on about whether she's really. Some
I
people
think
are annoyed about whether she's
so
actually
it's
Latino or not.
Hilaria Baldwin or something her name is, and I think she's like just American, but started putting on like a Spanish
accent.
accent
Really?
and stuff. I think that's what it is, and everyone's just like, "Why is this happening?" But
Yeah. Who's
Like
that?
Chet Hanks. You seen him?
Oh,
Tom
yeah.
Hanks' son. He speaks in like Jamaican patois.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not full time, but he does. Yeah, you'd love that, man.
But
Look into that.
he'd be a great guest for you for Inverse Internet Show.
But Chet Hanks is in Colin Hanks.
No, they're different.
Oh, he
Very
doesn't-
different
doesn't-
characters. As well. Check out Chet Hanks.
Hanks.
My big recommendation of the week. Chet Hanks.
Chet
He's a
Hanks
fucking
speaking
idiot.
in-
I follow him on Instagram.
I'll always see you like sharing his wee clips, and it's just him.
him
doing,
in Venice
like,
Beach doing press ups.
Yeah.
Doing
right.
fucking, calling
It was
people
on-
bomber clats.
It's like sort of Steve McLaren at FC20 kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
but more problematic.
Right.
And he was on like a TV show where he's just started doing the Joker impression for like too long, and the host looked so
What was the
uncomfortable.
fuck, what the fuck was that on? Was that not like a dating show or something like that?
Yeah,
That was fucked
that
up,
was
man.
Chet Hanks, wasn't it?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
You're the big Chet Hanks
I know.
guy here.
It's just crazy that it's Tom Hanks' son. Like he's like such a respectable,
Yeah,
upstanding
the nice
guy.
man
Yeah,
of
like,
Hollywood.
Poster nice man, and then son's a
His
fucking
son's just,
div,
hey
man.
man!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right.
think we've ever spoke about this in the podcast. What's the name of that guy you're obsessed with, the chef guy again?
Oh, Greg Wallace.
He's
Aye.
not a chef.
Greg
but yeah,
Wallace?
Greg-
What?
Masterchef, bald guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not a chef?
No, he's a presenter.
He's a
Is he?
He was
Imagine
he's
the
judge-
judge his food the whole
Is this
time, but-
another Andy Warhol Thompson moment for me? This
yeah,
time?
but the opposite. I
He got
thought
Andy Warhol and Anthony Worrell Thompson.
Yeah.
He also, this wasn't on the podcast, but when we were writing together the other week, Steve, it came out through some tortured conversation that he thought Guy Fieri was the lead singer of Smash Mouth. And you thought
There's-
Jonah Hill was in Cypress Hill.
no.
You thought Guy Fieri directed a Snatch.
The Guy Fieri thing, there's conspiracy theories online about that. I've just picked up on that and I've just believed it at face value.
Yeah, but why are you saying that? Like that's evidence. It's evidence that you're wrong.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, I'm giving you why I'm wrong.
Right.
Like, so I'm not just an idiot.
Like in Mass Man, I show my
So you've
working,
been-
but it's completely fucking wrong.
Yeah.
You've been doing some Guy Fieri rabbit holes, basically.
Yeah, and then in the other one, what
Can't
was
believe he pulled Madonna.
it? What? He wasn't in Smash Mouth.
Who?
Snatch guy.
Yeah,
What?
but his name's Guy.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. So it's been great
Basically,
having
Steve
you
will
here.
just take anything as gospel.
What was the other one you said there?
You told me that you thought Jonah Hill was
No,
in Cypress
that's
Hill.
because I'd read on Wikipedia that was the case when I was young, and then obviously you can edit Wikipedia, and then I just believed that for years, and I went back. I said it to someone, they were like, "What?" Went back. I was trying to prove it on Wikipedia, and it'd obviously been corrected, and I just looked like a fucking idiot.
No.
Yeah. 'Cause
I
you
don't
were-
know what Cypress Hill is, so I'm sort of one step removed
It's
from
a
that.
rap group.
Talking at cross
You've got to
purposes, yeah.
enunciate it so that people know that you're not saying you say it a lot.
Yeah. It's
One
a
of these
rap
rappers they have me.
It's not how Chet Hanks would say it.
I think they're a white rap group.
Mm. but
So
crucially
Jonah
without
Hill is in
Jonah
it,
Hill.
of course.
Exactly. He's a mistake to make. It's been lovely to have you here, Finn. Cheers.
Before we let it go, like, because you mentioned obviously you've done like about 7 hours or something like that at the Fringe. Like, how many of them have you put out? Or is any of them out in different, things online?
There's a recording of the Whitey one on Bandcamp. And then the other two kind of got cut up in various TV spots. So I never really recorded them. And also they sort of feel a bit like of that time. So I wouldn't do that.
So you would never like kind of do a sort of best of and try and do.
Well, I might do
in
the next special. I might. There's a bit in from Harassi at the moment that I'm doing on this tour because it's like a new audience and I really like it and it fits. So I may in the next special chuck in some stuff. Because you get head up. There's this idea when we were starting out that like if we do TV, that's that bit done. It's dead. You can never do it again. But it's just not. It's not true.
No,
Yeah.
It's also disposable now. So I might chuck some of that stuff in the next if I do another special.
And you plan on doing it? Because I was actually at the tape because I'd seen the last show. I'd seen it when it was in Glasgow, and I was actually with Vittorio in London when you were taping the
last
Square
one. Oh, great!
And it's a great show. And so you going to plan on doing something similar again?
Yeah, I was
for
just
this one,
chatting to Horatio. I don't know where I'm going to film it. It's kind of like because everyone's doing special. Have you guys put recordings out?
I'm going to do mine.
Where are you
this
going?
month,
Where are you going to record it?
Glasgow Stand.
Yeah, it's just trying to pick a room that hasn't been done loads.
Put a curtain up, though.
Well, yeah.
Was it Adam?
Adam's Rose just and the curtain looks fucking nice.
Yeah, it's a nice curtain. You need to have a nice curtain.
Yeah, I probably can't afford the same curtain.
No, it's like velvet curtain.
Yeah, I mean this curtain. It's not.
You could afford this.
Yeah.
We'll give you a borrow.
What's that, denim?
Yeah, it's a big pair of jeans.
And a boohoo curtain. This is like Juicy Couture curtain. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm good. I need to, but I don't know where I'm gonna do it. I need to pick a room and hopefully I can sell it. Yeah.
No, that'd be class, man. No, it's great. Well, listen, thanks for coming on. You're still on tour at the moment. How long's the tour on?
Goes till June. We're adding the odd extra dates in London and Birmingham and probably Liverpool. So it goes on till June.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Nice one. And check out Finverse Internet Online and all these other stuff there. Where can they find you on?
At Finn Taylor Comedy on everything. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Not OnlyFans yet. That'll probably be the next thing.
I've heard that they've done a comedy competition, OnlyFans.
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
It was like $100,000.
100 grand.
prize. Yeah.
Some open source won 100 grand.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
So good.
What was it? Just a normal comedy competition?
Yeah, you don't need to get.
But I think they
your
kind
tits
of
up.
made it an almost like a reality show element to the final. I don't really know.
All right.
Yeah. But no, just the
in
standard.
the future, maybe
Maybe, yeah. When there's
100
demand.
grand. You know.
I mean, I kind of think, in a way, I'm sort of jealous of anyone that can make money on OnlyFans because I sort of think my only hope is if someone sets up an app where I send you photos of my arsehole and then you have to pay me to stop. Like, that U2 album, just on your phone, you wake up and it's me just like that, and you're like, and then that's just kind of
Pre-downloaded to the phone.
Yeah. But no, just the normal socials.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice one.
And as ever, guys, you can follow us at SummerPod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Give us a like, subscribe on YouTube, and a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we are also on Patreon. You can also email us at summerpod@gmail.com. But until next time, guys, we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers,
Nice one.
Finn.
Cheers, Finn.
Appreciate
Cheers,
it.
Finn.
Cheers,
Thank
man.
you.
Nice, guys. It was fun.